Fordham, adjunct professor of history at Charleston Southern University in the Citadel. And I'm recording this on the eve of the 20th anniversary of the event that has defined a generation of Americans at the first part of the 21st century, and that is of the 9/11 terror attacks. On that morning of September the 11th, 2001, I was in my second semester of teaching at the College of Charleston, South Carolina. And that morning I got up and did a nice little power walk. And I came back home, and my mother at that time, she was in her 70s and up in age, and I was taking care of her. So I fixed her breakfast and then went to take a bath to get ready to go to school to teach an American history class. But I turned on the television, and it was about, I would say, 8:15 or so, 8:45, and Dan Rather, the CBS newsman, was on, saying that a plane had crashed into one of the Twin Towers in Manhattan. So I thought, oh, probably was an accident. Went there, took a bath, got up, and a second tower had gone down by the time that I'd finished bathing. And I said, wow, this is serious. So I then put on my clothes and started to get ready to go to school. And then my mother, as I said, she was in her 70s at the time, looked at me and said, Damon, what is the Pentagon? And I said, the Pentagon, that's where the Army is headquartered in Washington, D.C. What happened over there? And she said that a plane had attacked the Pentagon. And I said, whoa, this is serious. We're probably going to war. So I got in the car and was about to drive to school, but then there was a report, it turned out to be false, that the United States Capitol was being attacked. And for me, emotionally, that was too much. I pulled into a Texaco gas station and cried my eyes out. So I then drove to the College of Charleston, and I heard that Dr. Leo Higdon, who was then the president, said that classes would go on in spite of that today. And I ran into two students, Khalila El Amin and another young lady by the name of Kim Kadri. And we were talking, and I told them that I was in no mood to teach that day. And they said, Professor Fordham, you got to do it. So I walked into my history class, and there was a group of mostly white, northern, middle-class kids who had never known this type of national tragedy. And they're all crying their eyes out and hysterical. Professor Fordham, what are we going to do? And I suddenly pulled the strength and said, listen, in this class you're going to learn about how it was for your parents when John F. Kennedy was killed, or when Martin Luther King was killed, and Bobby Kennedy. And your grandparents may be able to tell you about what it was like when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment. I want you to write down everything that you feel and that you are experiencing so that one day you can tell your children of what you were doing this day. And so therefore, that'll make you a part of history. So with that said, I went on to teach the lesson in my history book dealing with the early days of European immigration. I managed to do so. So that was what I was doing 20 years ago when the Twin Towers were attacked during September the 11th, 2001. And I say all that to tell you that sometimes when you think that things may be overwhelming and you can't do something that's just too overwhelming, it sometimes takes a moment of tragedy to show you what you are made of, and sometimes you can rise up to the occasion when that type of tragedy happens. You'll never know until you put yourself in that situation, and sometimes how you react may surprise you for the better. And with that said, my name is Damon Fordham, telling you of my story of what happened in my personal life on September the 11th, 2001. Thank you.